Hey everybody, welcome back to the Carry and Cut YouTube channel. And if you're new here, we sure do appreciate you stopping by and watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and check out our Instagram if you'd like to, at Carry and Cut. We also made a Patreon at Carry and Cut, and we really do appreciate you guys supporting us in any way that you can. All the proceeds from our Patreon are going to go directly back into the channel to buy new knives and new camera equipment and stuff like that to hopefully make the content and the quality better for you guys. So today we're going to be doing another disassembly and maintenance video, this time on the Benchmade Full Immunity. This one is in M4 blade steel and has the flat dark earth aluminum anodized handles. So it's definitely be a pretty cool one. We got a I think it's definitely an aftermarket deep carry clip on here. So let's go ahead and let's get started. Of course, we're just going to need our T6 and our T10. This is going to be a T10 and a T6 on this one. So T10 for the pivot. Yep, T10 for the pivot. And we're going to be looking at T6 for the body screws and all the other hardware just like that. So let's go ahead and break right into this thing. Let's get our T6s out of here. And I already did a full review on this knife. If you want to go back and look at our, I'll actually probably put it in the description below. And I'll talk about our description. We also have all the tools that you guys see getting used right now are going to be down in the description below. If you would like to check them out, then you can definitely do that. Don't feel like you have to, especially if you're going to be buying stuff. It does help the channel if you buy those, but that's completely up to you. So let's go ahead and take our scales off here. We're going to take our bolts out in the same, not the same orientation, but we are going to be lining them up as the way they came out. So I got a little magnetic tray there, but I always like to use my little stone change holder that I made. It seems to be a pretty cool multi-use deal now. I'm gonna take off. Oop. All right, sorry about that. That could have been really bad. Done almost through one of the pocket or the scales, the body screws away into the wayside, into the oblivion. So I'm glad I caught that one. And before I get any farther, I do want to thank Steven for letting us have the opportunity to take these knives apart and look at everything. Our good buddy Steven Weigel, he sent all these knives over. A lot of the knife videos in the last week have been from Steven's personal collection, so we sure do appreciate all the support that he's given us. If you guys could give him a big shout out, it means the world for, at least for me, that you know, we have awesome subscribers like that would like to send in their stuff for us to take a look at and have the trust in me to be able to take care of them and, you know, get them back to them in the perfect working order that they came to me in. So definitely pretty exciting. Love to see that. Means the world. So let's go ahead and get that out of there. Let's pop our pivot right out of there. Okay, and of course, like all the other Benchmades, we have a nice D-shaped barrel, well, I guess pivot. That's what it is. So got a nice, you can only index it one way. Definitely going to be some lube in there. I was kind of wondering, it almost seems like it was a little bit lazy on the open. So I don't know if what was going on there. I almost thought maybe that one of the springs might be a little loose or broke or anything like that, but it looks pretty good to me. This actually has a full liner, so that's pretty interesting. When you're going to be taking this apart and putting it back together, it's not going to be as difficult with a full liner on it. So let's keep on trucking here. Let's go ahead and get we're going to use our Gerber multi-tool today. Going to pop that, or Omega spring right out of there. All right, and pop that one out. I always wondered if, I guess they definitely are going to be smaller on the mini knives. My good buddy Josh, he has a mini barrage, and both of his Omega springs are broke on that. And that is actually the first time that I've ever seen the Omega springs break on one of these knives. So definitely interesting. There's definitely a bunch of oil in there, so that'll be nice to get this taken apart and get it all taken care of. Wondering if Steven has some dogs at home, because we definitely got a little bit of fur going on the inside. Okay, so there's our barrel spacers right there. Let's go ahead and put them in our little tray. Those are magnetic. There must be some sort of steel in there. Okay, and there's our stop pin. We'll throw that right in there too. All right, let's get some alcohol going here. Get these Q-tips nice and tipsy. All right, go ahead and start wiping these down. There's definitely some gunk in there. This was definitely a work knife. You could tell by the blade. Look at check the blade out on there. He's definitely got some wear going on it, so that is awesome to see. Definitely do see the coating wearing off the blade tip there. So I'm not sure what kind of coating that is, if it's like a Cerakote or if it's I'm not sure what it is exactly, to be honest. I bet the kind of slow action we were seeing is definitely probably from some of this gunk that's been acquired in his, you know, in his pocket for the last, however knows how long it's been since you take these apart. I definitely know that he does maintain his knife though, so it's hard to tell. It could just be one of those, you know, daily users and gets neglected every once in a while. So we're gonna go ahead and get that cleaned up for him, get it working good as new. Yeah, for all the support that he's given us. So let's go ahead and wipe this one down. Got it nice and alcoholed up. Should lift any sort of oil and grease and dirt off there that we can. All right, that's looking much more better, much more better. So there's one liner. I do like that these have a complete, you know, full liner. That is, you know, different from the 940 or even I know the bug outs are the same way, and so is that mini 940 that we looked at and took it apart. It was you know, it kind of has that partial liner just for the axis lock to ride in, and it's definitely sometimes can be a challenge when you go to put that thing back together. So that having the actual full liners, that is a completely different setup, and it should be a little bit easier to put back together, I'm hoping. So we shall see though we get to the assembly. I know that mini Osborne we did there just a couple days ago. I think the video actually dropped. Well, I guess today would be the 6th. Some of these videos I pre-record them and put out, so it's not as much of a strain, and I can bust a whole bunch of them out in one day. But that knife was actually a little bit challenging. It threw me for a loop trying to get that darn thing put back together. It even cut me, so that was interesting. Okay, so there's our other liner. Now let's work on these scales here. That knife was definitely dirty. There was some gunk going on these. Check out them Q-tips. There is some gunk on there. All right. So this anodized aluminum scales, these are super nice too. Super high quality. Benchmade's always known for their high quality products. Of course, American made and American manufacturing at its best. Definitely cool to see that they're doing something a little bit different. I'm not sure if I really approve of the $300 price tag though. It seems a little crazy to me, but you know, still cool though. All right, we're gonna get this thing cleaned up, get our pivot nice and cleaned up there. All right, get this one wiped up. And we are gonna polish these washers too. Go ahead and give them a little shine. We got our 1200 grit diamond stone. That is the finest one that I actually have. So we're gonna go ahead and run those on there a little bit, trying to get them nice and shiny. Try to get the smoothest action that we can for them. Okay. And we got 2 scales. Now let's go ahead and work on this blade. Let's get this thing all de-gunked, if you will. Anywhere that the you know, blade's gonna be riding on metal, we need to make sure it's completely cleaned up and all free of debris, anything like that. Perfect. Okay. There's our blade. Let's go ahead and this thing kind of looked like it had a little bit of gunk in it too. We'll go ahead and get this nice and cleaned up. Of course, this is our axis bar. I don't know if you guys have ever seen some of the torture testing that the Benchmade channel used to do back in the day. I was just looking at some random Benchmade stuff, and they had videos from 12 years ago that they were putting these knives in a vise and cranking down on them. I think the one had like 1,200 pound-feet of torque on it, or at least pound-feet of pressure, or whatever you want to call it, before it finally, and didn't even snap. It just bent the axis bar. So that was pretty impressive. I know some people aren't completely sold on it, and I don't really know what the strength of a pocket knife really needs to be. I mean, I don't know what kind of crazy stuff everybody's gonna be putting their pocket knives through, but I don't typically, none of my knives see that much hard use, that's for sure. The hardest use normally mine get are gonna be cutting a zip tie or something like that. So and I don't always carry a multi-tool or anything like that, so sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do, but hopefully at least it's not one of your higher end nicer knives or anything like that. All right, we'll go ahead and give this one a nice shine up. Almost getting there. I need to clean my stone up a little bit. It's getting kind of dirty. All right. That should be pretty good right there. Okay. Now we're going to get back into assembling this knife. So let's get into our liners here. We had, oh, it's going to that one right there. We had 2 back spacers. Let's go ahead and set those right on in there. Oh, there's a little bit of that dog hair, so get that out of there. Just like so. A little bit of gunk going on in that one. All right, that one's pretty good. Let's go ahead and throw that back on there. Like so, hopefully, maybe so. It definitely does have a D shape going on it. There it is. So these are actually have to be oriented too. Make sure you get that indexed the right way. Like so. There it is. Perfect. Okay, now we're going to get our stop pin. We're going to go ahead and throw that one in. And of course, this one's going to be indexed a certain way too. So just be mindful of that when you're putting this back together. Don't be going crazy trying to push stuff in, and just like that, sometimes you get lucky and it works first time for you. So that's pretty cool. All right, let's go ahead and try to snap these back in place just like so. And we actually got to put our Omega springs and stuff back in here. I guess you can put these springs on now, or you can fish this on through and then put them together when you... I see some people, they like to put theirs on and then fish them through the scale, and that definitely does work. Of course, these are going to be... I keep saying indexed a lot, don't I? These got to be the correct way. You can only go on one way, so let's go ahead and slide this one down over the lock just like so. Push that right on there. Oh, lock this one in just like so. It's got a nice positive snap to it. We're gonna push our Omega spring right back in there. Okay, so now we got our full liner set complete there. Got the stop pin, both barrel spacers. Now let's go ahead and set this one right on there, and we can start assembling this thing for the most part. And we're not going to get crazy. We're just going to snug these in there for now. One of you guys, I think it was actually Steven himself, said, at least on that Mini 940, the 945, that if you leave your back spacers screws a little loose, it makes it a lot easier when you go to assemble and put the blade in. So that's definitely a good insight there, and something to look out for when you are putting these together. Little tips and tricks can make things go a long way, make it be a lot easier on you. Okay, so there's that part. Let's go ahead and we're going to put this side in, install it. All right, throw that in there. Let's get this one snugged up just like so. Rinse and repeat with the other two. And at this point, you can definitely go ahead and put some Loctite on these if you want to. If you see, need be, I'm definitely going to put some Loctite on the pivot. That's completely up to you if you want to do the body screws or not, the pod clip screws. This one probably should have got some since it is such a hard use knife. So, okay. This is where things definitely get fun. Let's go ahead and make sure our pivot slides on through. I don't know if you guys can see down there or not, but the... sometimes it's a little tricky just to even get the initial, get it lined up just right even initially. So let's go ahead and take it back out. For sure the pivot was on the right hand. There really isn't such a thing as called a show side scale on these, but maybe. Now we go ahead and I was messaging one of the other subscribers. His name is Jimmy Crow, and he was showing me all the cool tools and stuff that he homemade for lining up these axis locks and stuff. And it was definitely really cool seeing all the cool stuff that he's done to okay, we're definitely getting somewhere now. Okay, all right, regardless, let's go ahead and push that back out. The trick with these is we're just going to get it started just flush with that inside liner right there, just so we can get things started. Okay, all right, so let's go ahead and get some KPL going on here onto the blade. So we're going to want to throw some on here just for pretty much, well, obviously for lubrication, but to make sure our washer is going to stick to our blade. And we can put just put a drop here on the actual bearing itself, washer itself, sorry. So the more I got to thinking, it probably would make this a whole lot easier if you had those specialized tools when you go to put these things together. But then again, it's not necessary. So you can make, I know Flytanium I was checking out, they have their own special tool. Sometimes you can even hold them just like so. Just like that. Maybe. All right, we're gonna go ahead and use our T6 to go ahead and kind of feel around in there and feel what we're gonna do. Feel what we're going for. There we go, something like that. You kind of gotta do some wiggling and jiggling, and that's, the more I think about it, man, that lineup tool sure would be nice. And Jimmy Crow, he even showed me that it's got like a axis bar holder. It keeps your axis bar engaged the whole time, and that was pretty cool too. I got my fingers all gunked up. For some reason this dude just does not want to go in there all the way. Okay, let's have this bearing right there. There we go. Well, just got to keep kind of wiggling and working. This is definitely not going to my favor. There we go. There, we're getting something going. Got it almost in there. And just keep wiggling that around a little bit. See what's definitely holding us up. See, normally they should snap right back in pretty easily. There it went, just like that. Okay, all right. Now that we fought with that for entirely way too long, see, sometimes they go in easy, sometimes they want to fight. It always seems like these little ones almost give me the most headaches out of any of them. Seems like things are just a little bit smaller and just a little more cantankerous, if you will. Okay, let's go ahead and get a little bit of Locktite on there. Don't have to get too aggressive with the Locktite. A little bit goes a long way. All right, let's go ahead and run this on in. Like so. There's no blade play. Oof. That thing about got my finger big time. I don't know if it's just the amount of blade that this thing does not have is making the action not as snappy as, you know, I almost want it to be. And I feel like that's probably what's going on, that the blade just doesn't have that much mass to it to be able to, you know, fling the blade open. You can definitely get it open pretty good, but getting it closed, you almost have to put some, you know, positive effort into it compared to, you know, your bigger 940s, or imagine your other, man, I'm drawing a blank, like your Griptilians and all those kind of stuff, and bug outs will fall down open or shut pretty easily. So let's go ahead and look at our centering right there. Looks just about right on the money. Action's still good, solid lockup, no blade play, nothing like that. Okay, I think that is a success. We're gonna go ahead and throw our pocket clip on there for him. And Steven, you gotta give a shout out to you guys, you lefties. Lefty love on Steven, that's what he's about. So let's go ahead and throw this thing, set it up for left-hand tip-up carry. This is only a tip-up knife, so I really shouldn't say that, but left hand. Just snug them down. All right, guys, that'll do it. Definitely feels a lot better now that we got all that stuff, gunk cleaned out of there, even on the clothes. Perfect. Awesome. And don't forget, we got a 500 subscriber giveaway coming up pretty soon. Recording this video, we're at 441 subscribers, so 59 more, and we're going to be giving away this VV Praxis button lock. This is a super nice knife, button lock action, aluminum scales, 3 3/4 inch blade of nitro V steel. This thing is super slicey, super fidgety, and pretty high quality too. Definitely a nice knife. Can't wait to give it away to one of you guys. So, all right, guys, thank you very much. Have a great day. Till next time.